is a special day, it's your birthday. So blow out the candles and make a wish, 'cause it may well come true. Happy birthday to you, Heather.
Hello everyone, this video is specially dedicated for my husband on his 39th birthday. I had uploaded my birthday vlog too earlier in this channel. Now during that time many places had reopened, but now due to the number of corona cases rising, every public place is again under lockdown. So we decided there is no better way to celebrate a birthday during lockdown than with a delicious home cooked meal. Rather than making any fancy meal, I ended up making my husband's favorite dishes. When checking for cakes, I noticed the internet was flooded with the mirror glaze cake videos and it looked really beautiful. So this time decided to bake a mirror glaze chocolate cake. It was my first attempt making this cake. Since I'm self learning to bake since last few years, I keep waiting for some occasions to try out my baking skills. Because of the high sugar content used in cakes and frostings, I only bake cakes on birthdays except mine, wedding anniversary, and sometimes Christmas. Have not done any baking or cooking course, but whatever I do is all what I have self learned by simply experimenting with things. My kids don't like any cake other than chocolate cake, so the base for the cake is always the same, but I do keep experimenting different icing techniques on the chocolate cake on every occasion just for a change. So made the buttercream frosting first and stored it in the freezer for the cake which I baked the next day. Baked the cake one day before the birthday and allowed the frosting to set well in the freezer, and by doing so got plenty of time to cook other dishes on the birthday itself. So, for the buttercream frosting, you will need three main ingredients: room temperature unsalted butter, sifted icing sugar, and milk. Start by adding 1 cup room temperature butter to a stand mixer. You will surely need an electric mixer, beater, etc. for making buttercream frosting, as it will take hours of beating by doing with hands. Beat the butter for 5 minutes until it has become light and airy, doubled in size, and lost most of its color. Start adding the icing sugar little at a time, beating for about a minute in between each addition. Use the milk to thin out the consistency of the icing by adding little at a time. If you wish to add any colorings or flavorings, then do add it at this time. I added 1 teaspoon vanilla essence here and also a pinch of salt. The buttercream frosting can be stored in freezer for 3 months and you can reuse it for another batch of cake. Just remember to let it get back to room temperature before reusing it. Next is the cake. For this I made a simple chocolate cake. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 180 degrees Celsius, and place the oven rack in the center of the oven. Butter 2 9-inch cake pans, then line the bottoms of the pan with the parchment paper. In a large bowl, sift and add all the dry ingredients, that is 2 cups of granulated white sugar, 1 3/4 cups of flour, 3/4 cup cocoa powder, 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whisk well all together. In another large bowl, whisk together 2 large eggs, 1 cup warm water or coffee, 1 cup milk, half cup oil, 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and stir or whisk until combined. The batter will be quite thin. Evenly divide the batter between the two pans and bake for about 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the center of the cake just comes out clean. Remove from the oven and let it cool on a wire rack for about 10 minutes. Then remove the cakes from their pans and cool completely before frosting. Lightly crumb coat the buttercream frosting and then place in the fridge for some time. Then apply the second coat of the frosting and freeze again. Make sure you freeze the cake with the same size of the cake board. I didn't have the cake board that time, so had made it with some paper plates and they turned out to be slightly bigger than the cake, which created some problems during the glaze pour. For the mirror glaze, you will need 2 envelopes of unflavored gelatin dissolved in 1/4 cup of water. Allow it to bloom. Meanwhile, on a medium heat, stir 1.5 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup of water, and 2/3 cup of sweetened condensed milk in a pan. When the mixture bubbles, pour the gelatin and stir till fully dissolved. Turn off the flame and add 2 cups of white chocolate chips. Stir slowly till it dissolves. Then pour through sieve and divide evenly in 5 bowls, leaving one uncolored, add different food colors to the rest. Then pour half of the darker color mixture in a separate container and add some of the blue, green and yellow color glaze on top of the dark red glaze without mixing the colors. Lastly, add some of the uncolored glaze on top. Check the temperature of the glaze. For a perfect pouring consistency with no lumps, its temperature should be 90 degrees Celsius. Now remove the buttercream frosted cake from the freezer and place it on an inverted pan lined with baking sheet or a tray underneath to avoid the mess. My cake board being of bigger size, it got colored with the glaze. Nevertheless, it got covered later on with the cake decoration which saved the entire look. Now start pouring the glaze on top of the cake, starting from the sides first and then slowly moving towards the center. Once all the excess drips off, allow it to set and place it in freezer to chill and set more. To give the final finish, apply some buttercream frosting on the sides and write the name or wish on the cake. With that, the birthday cake is ready. Now it's time to watch the birthday man enjoy these dishes with family, cutting the cake and opening some unusual gifts. Hope you like the way we celebrated the birthday at home in a very simple way, but still could gather some awesome memories of this day for lifetime. Stay tuned for more such vlogs. Until then, goodbye and take care.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.